Well, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folarin. Thank God it's Friday. Looking forward towards the weekend. But in the polity, there's still a lot of business. Some business we think of as finished already, but then in the news is such that, well, it still comes back in. Well, my guest this morning is Charles Eboman. Charles is a lawyer and he's also a public affairs analyst. As always, welcome, Charles.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you.
Thank you, Uncle Yori. It's nice to be here, sir.
My pleasure, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, then. Now, I thought we could just have a conversation about, well, Osun. Let's go to Osun State.
Okay.
In a sense, there are those who would say Osun has been dried and dusted. It's over. We're just looking towards moving forward. But even from within the winning party, as you know, the election didn't go the way of the incumbent governor of the ruling APC, and Senator Adeleke won that election. However, there are issues from the primaries. So when I said it was dried and dusted, within the party, Prince Dotun Babayemi, who was also a candidate, is saying it is unfair and he is pursuing it. Senator Adeleke should not have been the candidate, and as far as he's concerned, is still not the right candidate, and he wants the court to say so, because that's when it becomes actionable. You and I know that it didn't start this matter, metaphorically speaking, yesterday, so to speak. He first of all, you know, got a federal court judgment which said, indeed, you are speaking well. I grant you your prayer. But then it has been overturned by an appeal court in Akure itself. In Akure. So this is much to the irritation of his party, who are telling him to back off, it's done, it's finished, let's get a... And he said, no, it's not going to work like that. Now, let's just have this conversation. If the Prince Dotun Babayemi, who was a candidate in the primaries, if he were even to get his way, what would the scenario look like? That's, I think, is the main question. Because he would want it for himself, but also it will affect other things. Give me your thoughts, your perspective on the whole issue.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Yori. It's nice being here.
Thank you.
I think in addressing this issue, it will be appropriate for us to look at the background facts to the case. Well, we will be speaking, we will not be able to speak holistically because from what I understand, Prince Dotun Babayemi has already appealed to the Supreme Court. So since the matter is a subject of litigation, we have to be very careful in what we say.
Yes.
But however, let me just give a brief facts as to how the matter came about.
Okay. Now,
the former chairman of PDP in Osun State, I think, Honorable, is it Olashola, I've forgotten the exact name, due to infighting within the party, he was removed as the state chairman. So he went to court to get reprieve, and the court restrained the party from removing him as the chairman, so he stayed on. While he was in office, he conducted world congresses and they elected world ESCO and delegates that were eligible to vote at the governorship primaries that will be coming up in March 2022. So eventually he left. Another chairman came, that is the acting chairman. Now it was time for the primary election. Those delegates, and again, on the 3rd, or I think on the 3rd of March 2022, a high court of Osun State also affirmed that all those local government ESCOs and delegates that were elected under the former chairman that was reinstated are the authentic and authorized delegates to vote. And so having that at the back of it, they all went for the primaries. Now, there were two primaries, as we all know, two primaries. While the one for Adeleke was held at the Osogbo Township Stadium, the one that produced Babayemi was held at the World Diff Center. So his own position is, I was elected by the authentic delegates. So I'm supposed to be the one that should be declared as the candidate of PDP. While Adeleke says, no, I am the authentic candidate. Of course, Adeleke subsequently went into election and won. Now that the matter has gone to Supreme Court, there are a few implications. And at this point, I'm having at the back of my mind the Zamfara situation. What if you are opportune to see the judgment of the trial court of the Federal High Court? They started from the Federal High Court. Let me just quickly correct the impression. At the Federal High Court, judgment was given against Prince Babayemi.
Mm-hmm.
Again, at the Court of Appeal, he lost. So now he has gone to the Supreme Court. So he has not gotten a judgment in any of the courts at all.
He hasn't been favored.
No, at all.
Okay.
At the Federal High Court, he lost because the Adeleke group raised preliminary objections as to the competence of the suit. So he lost there. He went to Court of Appeal, and Court of Appeal affirmed the decision of the Federal High Court. And so now, of course, he's exercising his fundamental right. He has gone to the Supreme Court. Now, just like you said, ordinarily one would have expected that it was a done and dusted issue, but it is not. Now that he has gone to the Supreme Court, like I said, playing down deep my mind is the, what do you call it, the Zamfara issue. It's a dilemma, a very big dilemma. Like that is why I would say for now, it is not yet to huru for Adeleke, not until the Supreme Court pronounces on this matter. If the Supreme Court says no, if they affirm the decision of the Court of Appeal, so be it. But if they decide to say no, that means there will be a problem. Now, why did I say the Zamfara issue is playing in my mind? Let's look at the grounds upon which they are coming. The authentic delegates voted for Prince Babayemi. They were not the ones, according to him, they were not allowed to enter the Osogbo Township stadium. So that was why they went to a different venue to go and hold their election, presided over by the acting chairman of PDP in Osun State.
Is it? And you say the authentic
yes,
delegates?
That was what, yes. The Osun State High Court judgment of 3rd March 2022, that was how it turned. They said they are the authentic and authorized delegates to vote. Those are the people that were elected under the former chairman that was removed, that went to court to get reprieve to come back. So that was so he went there. Those ones voted for him. Now, the dilemma is this. If at the end of the day, the court says no, because the authentic delegates did not vote for you, the governor-elect, Adeleke, they are not now going to say Prince Babayemi should have been the candidate, because the Prince Adeleke's group is also challenging that the election of Babayemi was not conducted by the NEC of PDP, neither was it monitored by INEC. So that is a dilemma. So the moment the court agrees with Babayemi and says, because the delegates didn't vote for you, you are not there. And they now say, for you, because they did it, INEC didn't monitor it, neither did the NEC of PDP organize the election, you also know that it will now take us back to the Zamfara situation. And so what we simply means is that the incumbent governor may as well just be warming up to be the next governor.
Because in any case, there are also other stories yet to be confirmed that the incumbent governor, Oyetola, is actually also considering contesting the results of the election. In fact, I saw one story saying he was putting together a team of up to 50 lawyers for the purpose. Although maybe it's because I'm not a lawyer, I can't imagine what 50 lawyers will be doing on one case. Maybe there's a way you people do division of labor. I mean, that is, even if there's credence to the story. So it's not an easy thing, but I suppose the important thing you brought out, because of these actions, we can't say it is Uhuru yet.
Yes, certainly not. It's not yet
Even
Uhuru.
as the Adelekes are busy celebrating, and a lot of people are also celebrating with them, we have to wait on the Supreme Court
pronouncement. Very well.
Now, the whole matter about internal party democracy comes into play here, doesn't it? And it's not just with the PDP. It's an issue that we've heard of across board for all the parties. Give me your take on the role of that allegation of lack of internal party democracy in the, if you want, confusions that we find ourselves in and that we have to sort of try and unpick and make sense of it?
Okay, thank you very much. One of the banes of this current political dispensation has been lack of internal democracy within the parties themselves. And of course, it has also has a way of playing out in the country itself. Because in law will say, "Nemo da code non habet." You cannot give what you don't have. As political parties, those are the what they call the platforms through which we elect our political officers, who we expect that when they come outside, they are going to rule well and play by the rules. So if they are not playing by the rules within themselves, the question now will be, how will they be able to come out and implement what they have not even done within their own setting? Right from what they call the case of Amechi, the former minister, down to look at the Omeha, all of it has always been this issue of lack of internal democracy among the parties. And you see this also, this attitude of winner takes it all, also have a way of making some aggrieved parties to say, no, we are ready to exhaust all our rights from the beginning to the end. Let it be on record that we fought, and at the end of the day, we lost. So certainly it's a very big problem. And almost all the cases that has to do with issue of nomination, substitution, wrong substitution, they've all been due to lack of internal democracy within the party. So the clarion call has always been there that they should please, as much as possible, try and make sure that they act within the ambits of their own constitution. When you are talking of internal democracy, is even what their rules, their constitutions, their guidelines have provided for.
Which is what Prince Babayemi is relying on.
Yeah, so when they deviate from it, naturally anybody who is aggrieved will want to fight. If they follow the rules as they themselves have laid them, it wasn't imposed on them. Their constitutions were not imposed on them. Their rules were not imposed on them. They came together as a body, as a political party, and say, oh, this is what we can do. This is what we feel we project this party very well. So why haven't put that down? I would say agreements must be obeyed. This is the contract between all the parties, party members. Follow it strictly, and I can tell you, sir, most of the matters that we are having in court concerning election, elected or not being elected, would have been coming up if they had been practicing true internal democracies within the parties.
Okay. Ola in Abuja has called in. Good morning, Ola.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Yes, and I greet your guests in the studio also. My name is Ola. I'm calling from Lugbe in Abuja.
Okay, welcome. Go ahead, please.
Now, I think there's no point for us to continue to flog a dead ox. As far as the election in Osun State is concerned, it is done and dusted. You know, in winner as a match, let Orisala and APC be preparing for maybe how they're going to come back in the next 4 years. As it is now, forget about, at the end of the day, we know that by the grace of God Almighty, the Supreme Court will rule in the favor of Adeleke, because it's the person.
Sorry, Ola. I was going to say, which one concerned APC in this whole matter? It's PDP. The PDP started the party.
Oh, Alexa, your guest in the studio, you know, from his analysis. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes. Carry on, please.
Your guest in the studio was just talking about the possibility of Orisala continuing as the governor.
Okay.
If the court makes the pronouncement. Every Nigerian heard it. so I want you guys to just concentrate on how you're going to package your APC and some other things. Leave PDP out of it. The people of Osun State want Adeleke, and that's how it's going to be. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ola, for calling in. Well, you know, we're just looking at the issue. Yes, in a sense, we're not partisan in this particular conversation.
Certainly not.
You know, that's why we need to hear from both the APC and the PDP. It's something that the APC had, that the PDP has launched. You know, they have the issues, and they are newsworthy issues. If there are quarrels within the family, so much so that, as you are no doubt aware, Ola, even the PDP is saying that for Prince Babayemi to continue in his action of not really agreeing, they say it's dangerously close to anti-party activities. So that is why I said all of this is coming out of the PDP. It is really PDP against PDP. APC hasn't said anything about this whole matter, you know, although there are those who note that the incumbent APC governor has not yet congratulated Senator Adeleke. I don't know how factual that is, you know, but thereby, as it were, supposedly obliquely indicating that, you know, I'm just, myself, I just did sit down look. But Reverend, good morning, Reverend Dominic.
Good morning, Yori. Good morning to your guest.
Sure, thank you.
Yori, let me say this, because we are living in a nation that we don't know how to, most of the time, decide or declare the kind of nature of nation we live in. I want to advise, just as advice, if the Supreme Court judges listed, I don't know whether they watch television by their own nature. If they are Nigerians also, I guess they are Nigerians, before they could enter into this judgment, right or wrongly, they should picture what is happening in Imo State today. The Imo State crisis today, you're in my state today, I can't go east again. I can't go to east again. Me as a randomly, I can't go because it's so dangerous to go. You may not come back alive. The problem of Imo State today is that INEC has their own candidate as the governor of Imo State, and Supreme Court has their own candidate as governor of Imo State. And today, nobody in Imo State, except few of them, that eat in the palm of the Obozodema that support him.
Wait, Reverend, Reverend.
Yeah, hello.
Sir, Reverend Dominic, you know you just dropped a whopper there. You actually said INEC has its candidate, the Supreme Court has its candidate. Abomination. It cannot be now, and you know,
okay,
Reverend.
Okay, sorry, INEC pronounced a governor. Sorry for that word. I withdraw that word. INEC had a governor they pronounced as governor of Imo State.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yes, they declared somebody the governor. They declared him the winner.
A governor of Imo State in the name of another person, and Supreme Court announced their own governor. He never another person. So I'm trying to say, sorry for that candidate. It's a slip of tongue. He doesn't anything like that. Now, yes. If I can't hear you clearly, if you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please continue.
Now, what I'm trying to say is this. If the Supreme Court judges are Nigerians, they should look at the picture, the bigger picture, and look at how Imo today has become ungovernable. Because after the people have elected their own governor, the Supreme Court has their own governor, that's what I mean. And today in Imo State, if you go to Imo State, they say, who are you talking to? Is it the Supreme Court governor? So how do we have that scenario? I think OTUKPO has spoken, if you ask me. I don't know, because it's possible. It's possible. 200 possible for judgment to go the other way around in our own Nigeria, in our own Supreme Court, in our own legal system. Okay. But I said they should look at Imo State. We have a lot of trouble here. There's too much blood on our hands here. It's one trouble, one blood too many. I pitch to Supreme Court to allow a sleeping dog alive. Good morning, Nigerians.
Thank you very much, Reverend Dominic, and also thank you for, you know, amending your utterance and in fact withdrawing it that it was a slip of tongue. Supreme Court cannot have any candidates. Neither can INEC have any candidate. But I guess I understand what the good Reverend meant. Yes. Nevertheless, we have to be very, very careful.
Of course,
with
our choice of words.
Exactly.
Particularly when you are on air.
Because people will be listening and might think that, what? Is this what's going on in Nigeria? Yeah. Now, to come to the point that he's making, when he alluded to, you know, which he has withdrawn now, the Supreme Court, you know, well, when the Supreme Court pronounces, or first of all, INEC, when INEC declares a winner, it's going to be based on material evidence before it, and then it will proceed. It might not be to the satisfaction of some other party, but INEC that we know today will, you know, look at it, cross the T's, dot the I's, check, recheck, and then check one more time, and then make its announcement. Now, in the Supreme Court, indeed in any court, the way it's supposed to go is that you're supposed to depend on facts, evidence before the judge, whatever the court. So again, when a pronouncement is made, I don't think you can say really that it is the judge, the magistrate, or indeed the lordship It is therefore the candidate of the person. But you know, that is not to say our judiciary hasn't had problems, and that's why some people are being apprehensive now. Say it's all right, Yori, to say all those things that you said. It's from the book, but have we followed the book every time and in all circumstances? Do you appreciate some?
Well, yes, I quite understand what he's trying to say, and just like you said, thank God he eventually withdrew the offensive language. Yeah, just like you said, INEC is statutorily established to conduct elections. And INEC will declare a candidate winner based on the votes cast. So that candidate is not INEC's candidate. That is the candidate that won the election. Now, just like we'll be saying now, there are instances where a particular candidate may not be happy with the outcome of the election. And the laws have provided enough grounds for them to approach the court. So, and the candidate approaches the court and say, oh, I'm not satisfied with the outcome of this election. You will not say because INEC has declared that person, for all intents and purposes, is the winner. Of course, the person goes to the court, goes through the whole gamut of the process, gets to the Supreme Court. Like you said, every court in this land based his judgment on available evidence. And that is why you see that one case may not be exactly the same with another case. Because all of them, they all have their own peculiar facts and circumstances. So the Supreme Court looks at it and says, no, based on this, by our own estimation, by what is placed before us, this is the man that won this election. So that does not make him the candidate of the Supreme Court
or the judge.
No, certainly not.
Easy in YENAGOA. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yari.
Thank you for calling in.
I'm the lawyer in the studio.
Good morning.
I want to look at this issue from a fundamental philosophical dimension.
Okay.
Because in politics in Nigeria, sometimes we allow the judiciary to decide against the overwhelming wish of a majority of persons. Where we practice democracy, democracy is a game of numbers. It's a percentage of the entire voting strength. So when a greater percentage of persons have voted in an election, then aggrieved parties take the issues to court based on technicalities and other grounds. Then we allow the court, in wisdom, to begin to decide what the masses have voted. But the case of Osun, which is a reference point, where the miracle governor of BAYELSA was in charge of to lead the National Campaign Council of PDP to that election. If we all believe in Christianity and the wish of Osun people, the miracle governor was there, and that election has been won square and simple by the PDP. The margins are there. It's so sad that up to now, the incumbent governor have not been able to congratulate the winner. Even the president have congratulated the winner in PDP. We should be magnanimous sometimes and go to politics with sportsmanship. We should develop the spirit of followership. You see, what the last caller talked about IMO and all those issues are issues that are fundamental. We begin to look at politics from a very critical dimension because the trajectory in which this country is going is not fair. Look at the level of insecurity. Look at the level of our economy. Look at the level of poverty. Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world. Look at the education today that students have been in the house. Last year they stayed 9 months. This year they stayed another close to 5 months. These are all the fundamental issues that affect our democracy. These are calling us on the face. Democracy is a very good system of governance. It's better than the worst system of democracy is better than the best military rule. Now we are practicing it. We don't want to play by the rule. It doesn't mean that courts should always decide. But when the masses have gone to vote masses, we should begin to adhere to it. You see, when we begin to look at issues and bring in technicalities and bring in sentiments to politics, it's not too fair. Nigeria today is on a very pitiable situation. I'm talking about the country where 14.2 million children are out of school. We're talking about the country where the poverty margin, Nigeria ranks about the 10th poorest country in the world. It's so sad, and the president of this country have lost touch with the current reality. You saw when El-Rufai was telling him a few days ago that he was the one that briefed the president about the fact that he was being threatened by the militants to kidnap him. It shows that the president no longer listens to newspaper, no longer listens to news. His media aides are no longer telling him the truth. And this is the country we are growing. The court should stay out of our democracy and allow Nigerians to vote. It's a sad development.
Okay.
And when we continue like this, what do we tell the next leader generation? What are we telling our children? Which direction are we going? This country, we should begin to groom them, and people who come to the media to speak should be able to guide.
All right, then. Well, thank you very much. You certainly threw a number of things into that particular basket of yours.
Yes.
Maybe just picking one at random, you did give the impression as if the president is entirely clueless about happenings in the country. I don't want to go into that, but that cannot be the case. As you know, presidents around the world, you don't even have to have been one or been close to one to know that they get extracts of what's going on. It's not beyond conjecture that a president must know what's going on. If they probably, I'm just guessing now, but I'm imagining that somebody prepares, an extract that can take no more than a few seconds to generally scan what's going on. So that was just one. But the larger point that he was making, you see, when people call in because of the situation in the country, which is not, we're not, this is not the best. This is definitely not the best, and a lot of people are hurting. And in the hurt, some of those things come out like that. But we're talking about the PDP in Osun State as being a house in crisis. Because this might be what you would expect if the opportunity existed for APC to be doing to them. But they themselves are rocking their own particular boat. And furthermore, they are saying that it is because there is absolutely no avenue in the eyes of Prince Dotun Babayemi, no avenue for justice and fair play, that they are constrained to look towards the courts. Yes. Now, you made the point earlier that thank God for this, otherwise there will be cudgels and stones and all of that, but as civilized people, we can always go to the court. And I don't think anybody can blame Babayemi
for approaching the court.
For approaching the court.
Now, let me just quickly respond. See, now, there was an issue, there was something he said, that the courts should allow the wish of the people to always stay. Now, I think instead, it is the political parties that we should appeal to, that they should allow internal democracy reign in their parties. Now, let me take you back to the issue of BAYELSA. Looking at the majority of the people voted overwhelmingly for the APC candidate. That was the wish of the people in BAYELSA. I think it had about 534,541 votes. The Matawali that is eventually there today scored just about 23.something% of the entire vote. That was not the wish of the people. But because of the lack of internal democracy within the party in the state, the primaries that threw up the APC candidate and all the houses of assembly was declared by the Supreme Court as null and void. In fact, the votes that was gathered by the APC was the Supreme Court specifically said they were wasted votes. So in the eyes of the ordinary man, majority of the people wanted the APC. Now the minority that voted for the PDP are the ones that eventually had their way. Then what cost it? If the APC in Zamfara State had put their house in order, they had every opportunity to do what they were supposed to do, to beat the deadline of INEC. They didn't do that. So it is actually the parties that will appeal to. Now, the Supreme Court...
One moment, please,
yes,
because Mazi Okoroba has called in and has been waiting. Good morning to you, Mazi.
Good morning, Sayori. Good morning, our guests in the studio.
Sure.
Good morning, sir. Sayori and our guests in the studio. You see, the problem we have in Nigeria that today in Nigeria, there is no internal democracy among the political parties. And secondly, the people fighting for all these posts, they are not fighting for them. That is for the community or for the people. They are just for their own personal aggrandizement. Now, tell me, what does it take one to say, hey, congratulations? Look, there is something people don't listen. In as much as majority carries the vote, fine and good that the people voted massively for the young man Adeleke. But the question is, Nana, whether the governor incumbent is going for court is not going to be. I will advise you just keep your money, use it for another thing. Because to me, even the Babayemi that is fighting that the primary election was not properly done. But there's one thing that I want to find out from Nigeria. Political parties, is it meant for individuals or meant for generality of the people? Or for the people who have interest for the political parties? If you check around, take statistics and take history about Nigerian politics. It is not. It is only individual. Myself, my own. Look at when the government says, my government is doing it. No, it's not your government. It is we, the people, are doing it. Because you as a governor, you are an individual. Only you cannot be commissioner for health, industry. It's not possible. You should say we. But in Nigeria, my government, which government?
Okay.
Are you God?
Okay.
This is one thing that we have to be very, very careful in Nigeria because insecurity is rapidly everything. You saw what happens in Owo. I was expecting after that to take 247 security. See what happened. Now.
Well, thank you very much, Reverend Dominic. Okay, let's take a break. We need to take a break. We'll come back and we'll continue in studio with Charles Bowman, lawyer and public affairs analyst, and as well with your calls, which is crucial to it. Stay with us, please. Okay, now, welcome back. And we're having the conversation with Charles Bowman and your good selves out there on, the situation in Osun where the election has been concluded, it has been won, it has been declared, but from within the ruling, ruling party,
victorious party.
The victorious party itself, it is kicking up this ruckus, and that is to say, Prince Dr. Adeyemi is saying, quite frankly, Anogo Giri. His party is warning him that you're close to anti-party activities, but we hear that he is proceeding to the Supreme Court. Somebody has called him from WARRI. Godfrey, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Please go ahead now.
According to your guest there, concerning the primary election the PDP did in their party, many people are making calls that are not even concerned the topic of discussion. Even from my own layman idea that is not even a lawyer, what the two candidates of the PDP did, the two aspirants did, is just illegality. I see no reason the people that are even calling, they don't even talk about the topic of discussion. They begin to try to deviate to APC or what's it called. What you are discussing, there's not about the election generally. It's about the external democracy of the particular PDP, how they did their primary. For my own layman vision, I would just say the PDP as a party does not have candidate in the Osun election. That's my own submission.
Okay, I hear you. Thank you very much for calling in. Charles, yes. How can it be understood, that is Godfrey's position, that technically, I think he's gone into the technical now, because clearly they have a candidate. The candidate has indeed won, but he is saying, and sometimes the law says that contrary to what you think or what you think you are seeing in law. So is there a way where Godfrey could be right?
That would be difficult to say. Now, that is the position, not until, like I said, not until the Supreme Court speaks on it. Now, at the prior court, that's at the Federal High Court, the court has maintained that the authentic candidate is Prince Adeleke, the governor-elect Adeleke. At the Court of Appeal, that same position has been upheld. So not until the Supreme Court speaks on it, we may not be able to say whether they had a candidate or not. Of course, just like you said, I think they appear to be missing it. This is an internal wrangling. It has nothing to do with APC. For even though there have been insinuations here and there that, probably APC is the one that is fueling it. And I keep telling them, I say, look, if you know your problem, 50% of it is solved. If you know that APC is fueling, what are you doing to remedy it? So for that, it will be too early indeed for us to say PDP does not have a candidate. But like what I said before, if at the end of the day, the Supreme Court rules to say, look, both your own primary was defective, the other man's own primary was defective, like I said before, following the decision in the Zamfara State issue, of course, the incumbent governor will just be declared the winner because the one that had the second highest vote to the man that was declared as the winner. Don't forget that even the Babayemi did not even participate in the election. So it will now be between the two of them. If they say it's invalid, you cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand. The next person that was validly, at least, his own primary that brought him up has not been contested yet. So he's still the candidate of APC.
Okay then. Emmanuel in OTUKPO, thank you for holding on. Go ahead now, please.
Yuri, greetings to your guests in the studio.
Thank you very much.
This Osun issue. Congratulations to Senator Adeleke Jackson. And I also congratulate the people of Osun State. Very obvious and clear that the people love Jackson and they have voted for him. They have spoken. Prince Babayemi, to my own understanding, is playing spoiler's role, and it shouldn't be so. So I urge the PDP family to prevail on him, to hands down, so that the Jackson will enjoy his victory. And let them sit down and discuss. Politics is horse trading. Let them discuss and consider and yield ground so that they can give the people, the good people of Osun, good governance. I pray for Nigeria that the 2023 election will be as peaceful as the election of Osun State, so that we get good governance, deliver our country from the hands of these political scavengers. Let good things begin to happen in Nigeria, at least for once. God bless Nigeria. Indeed. Thank you, Uncle Yuri.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for calling in, Emmanuel in OTUKPO. You know, I'm stating it, and as you were also saying earlier, Charles, APC is not really involved in this at all, apart from the fact that APC also contested that election. And INEC has declared Adeleke the winner. But there still are records. And if this whole thing, Prince Babayemi and his party are not able to resolve issues, it goes all the way to the Supreme Court, then theoretically, we don't know how they will decide, but should they indeed decide along the lines that you said, that's where, you know, Oyetola comes into it, because as we explained, he had the second highest number of votes in the entire election, never mind which party anybody came from. And because of that, it remains to be seen. There are even those who might say that it's a pipe dream. But we hear that, you know, His Excellency, the governor, is considering. That's the way. They're studying. First of all, they were studying the results. I think that study continues till now. And, yeah, we also observed correctly that, unless somebody wants to correct us on air, that there hasn't been a congratulations yet to, you know, the winning candidate, even though the president has, who is also from the ruling party, has congratulated them. So when somebody just charged in and say, look, that's your lawyer, what he said, no, I mean, as I said, we're doing our best to be non-partisan in this and just looking at the, shall we say, unique situation where the opposition are the people causing wahala for the eventual victor. Now, someone else is on the line. Say that again, please. I don't know who's on the line. Michael. Michael?
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning, Michael.
Yeah.
Please carry on.
First of all, I don't know why people are blaming the governor of Osun State, that is Governor Oyetola. What is happening right now is between the PDP party. The primary election was not free and fair. We all know that.
Where?
So
in PDP? You are alleging that in PDP? You are alleging that it wasn't free and fair in PDP?
Challenge the verdict of the PDP NWC. So there's nothing wrong there. That is the beauty of democracy. When you know that someone cheated you, you can go to court and fight and challenge the verdict. So people should not blame the APC or the governor of Osun State. They should blame the NWC party of the PDP, not APC. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Yes, National Working Committee.
Now, let me quickly react to what you said. You see, number one, the governor of Osun State not congratulating the governor-elect does not in any way detract from the victory. That's one.
It's important.
And even if he had congratulated the governor, that does not also preclude him from proceeding to court if he wants to. So let's get that straight. Now, as to studying the results, Of course, they will study the is within his rights. If he feels the results didn't turn out well, he has an issue. Of course, his lawyers will study it and see if there's any reason for them to go to court. So be it. It is within his constitutional right to go to court. So, like I said, not congratulating him does not detract from the victory that the PDP governor-elect has.
And even if he does or did congratulate him, you are saying it doesn't preclude.
No, that he has congratulated him does not mean if there is now reason to proceed to court to challenge the election. Of course, he can still proceed and do that. So it has not in any way affected.
Even as the president has congratulated, the leader, the winner. In Osun, that was just being statesmanlike. On the part of the president.
Very well, yes.
So that's it. Say, look, it doesn't matter. You won the election, INEC has declared. And so listening to INEC's declaration, the president extended his congratulations. But you've just explained that that is without prejudice to the fact that actions can still, be launched.
Of course.
Should
the need arise. Have we studied all the documents and did not discover that there will be need for us? Of course, they can. Even that the president has congratulated the candidate that won, does not also preclude the governor from proceeding to court should the need arise.
Okay. Elder David in ALIMOSHO, good morning, sir.
Thank you, Yori. God will bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Let me thank this government for true democracy. We are now practicing real democracy. I have to praise this APC government for introducing this type of system, that there is no ringing. Actually, what is happening in Osun State is what happened in Zamfara State. The APC won there with 500-something thousand. The PDP man there got 100-something thousand because of internal fight between APC members. Yeah, what happened? Then the PDP man was declared as a winner. The world does not fall. All this will happen in the time of APC government. God will bless them for true democracy. Then you go to BAYELSA State. They rely on one that election. It was to be sworn in. Just 3 days to the time. Supreme Court said no. His vice have a problem with his certificate. No vice. You see, true democracy. So what happened here today? Like that of Osun, whether they are congratulating him or not, it doesn't matter. They have been congratulating other people like that. And what that lawyer said there is correct. What they have analyzed, it is the same PDP. The other man, his own delegate is authentic. But because of connivance with the chairman of the party, then Naina went to the other way. Naina have no candidate. Supreme Court have no candidate. What they are interpreting is what the law says. If the president likes to congratulate him, if everybody congratulates, they have equally congratulate other people in Zamfara, in Bayelsa. But the joker may come in later.
Okay.
Let us see what happens.
Indeed.
May God bless.
Thank you very much, Elder David. And that's what worries a lot of people. What Elder David said at the end, the joker may come later. Yes. But we don't need any jokers in court. But Elder David is right. There have been situations where, pronouncements, findings, judgments from these courts can be referred to as jokers in the sense that nobody saw that coming.
Yes, look at the Bayelsa State issue that he referred to. The governor was guilty by association because of the deficiency in the documentation of the deputy, of the running mate.
That's right.
And that was what, even a day before, the governor, the APC governor-elect, had already gone to the parade ground to practice how he was going to take the salute the next day. Suddenly, the Supreme Court said, no, this man's are because you are meant to run a valid election with a running mate.
With a running mate.
Of course, that was a joker. Nobody saw it coming.
Yes.
And of course, if you look at that election, truly, the majority of the people, just like in Zamfara State, the majority of the people voted for the APC guy. But it is, like I said, the court has no candidate. If the parties truly practice internal democracy, which includes screening everybody very well to be sure that, this candidate is the right person for this position.
That is due diligence,
right? Most of
right?
Yes. Like I said, I was telling you off camera that my dad used to tell us that when a case is against you, if the case was well decided, despite the fact that you lost, you will say, there is no, I truly I agree with this judgment. When a member of the party feels aggrieved, this is a clear case of injustice, he will be ready to fight it to the last level. Let it be on record that I fought this battle and I lost here, not just making the person to just submit to what you say. And again, they should also, this idea of a winner takes it all. Somebody's called, I was talking about the PDP. I expected them to also do their in-house cleaning. Remember that in this same Osun, the editor of Jagede SAN, his committee came, like a peace reconciliatory committee. They couldn't utilize it. The OKOROAFOR also came, Governor OKOROAFOR also came. They couldn't utilize it. They would have been able to nip this thing in the bud. Probably this man would not have gone all this far. Now he's there, and of course it's his right. Even at the end of the day, if it is now seen as anti-party activities, but he must have exhausted all his rights. And that is what his camp is saying, that this is all about justice. But this is all about justice.
That is what they are saying.
Yes.
From their standpoint, it's all about justice.
Very well.
I don't know how it is even going to work. You know, in Yoruba land or the Yoruba language, they say that two folks don't go to court
and remain friends
and come back friends, because judgment is going to favor one and the other. So I don't know how it's going to work within the PDP. But as you were saying, the Prince, Babayemi, he's exercising all his options, going right up to the very last bus stop, which is the Supreme Court. Is it possible, because I imagine the PDP is still prevailing upon him to see reason, their point of view. He could pull out of court. I'm not saying he's even thinking about that. Could he, even at the Supreme Court, he could withdraw? Is it possible?
Very well, very well. Yes.
It can be done. People can discontinue.
Yes, of course, he can just file a notice of discontinuance and say he is no longer proceeding with the appeal, and that ends the matter.
Even though Prince Babayemi has done no such, he has given no such indication.
No such indication.
His people are really, as it were, playing hard.
Yes, and they are feeling bitter. If you read some comments days back, they are feeling bitter, saying, no, this is all about justice, that we must go the whole hog and get to the Supreme Court.
Mrs. Ladeji in Jos. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, ma'am.
And good morning to your guests.
Good morning.
Well, yes, good morning. And how are you? And good morning to your guests.
Thank you.
Please, we have to understand something. There is no truth in this country, especially in the political arena. So everybody is suspecting each other. And we have to understand that all the vote buying and vote selling that went on, we have not seen anybody brought to book. Even the Osun election, we understood that there were vote buying and vote selling. The same thing. So what happened? Nobody has been punished. So nobody is sincerely believing in what INEC and other agencies are doing. Securities were at those elections, and those things went on according to how people said, and even the mass media. So as long as this wuru-wuru will continue to go on, nobody is going to trust any election that INEC is doing. They have to sort it out first. People have to be punished. Okay, look at the presidential primary. Everybody, if you pay 100 million naira to buy a form, will you be stepping down for anybody?
Okay.
So it is all of them are acting play, and we are tired. You know, when people start talking on all your programs, and you are asking them to mind their language, everybody is tired. We in the north here, we cannot sleep with our eyes closed. So who wants any nonsense person to come into government again? We are tired.
Okay.
And we will continue as long as you bring their own rubbish to us. Because whatever they say, whatever happens, you tell us we hear. We must give them back through you people. So you must allow us to talk. We must not be using any bad language or anything. But they are dishing it out to us. You want us to, okay, look at those ones we saw on television, flogging those poor people that we are in captivity. Are they flogging presidency like that? So allow us to talk. We are tired. They'll tell them we are tired. We are sick and tired. They should just go away. Good morning and God bless you.
Thank you very much for calling in, Mrs. Ladeji. However, you've exercised your right to free speech. You also will grant me some of it as well. when you say nobody believes INEC, you see different strokes for different folks. You, ma'am, you've been listening to the program, and there are people who have called in saying the direct opposite, to commend INEC. But we acknowledge what you said. Allow people to talk, and you've even given us parameters. As long as they are civilized, people must say what they will say. But we do have to caution that INEC, you know, we're not on the side of INEC. We're not on the side of anybody. But you know, we have reporters on ground, you know, at these elections. A lot of it is done in the open, and INEC, you know, pronounces according to how the election went. It might not suit anybody. Certainly, Mrs. Ladeji is, you know, she said that, look, this is Nigeria. There's no truth. There's no truth anymore in this country. So one appreciates where she's coming from, because it's not as if she can't find examples to illustrate the point she's making in some other instances. But I think to cut INEC some slack, most people are saying INEC did great. Very well. You know,
yes, that's true. With the new innovation now in the new Electoral Act, INEC may not be perfect, just like every other institution in the country. Yes. There's no institution in this country that is perfect at the moment. In the Osun State, in the Osun election, at least credit has been given to INEC. And you know what it means to defeat an incumbent governor. So to me, like I said, INEC may not be perfect, but let us give them some credit. And I'm sure it's a process.
Indeed.
It's a process. They've done, they did Ekiti, they've done Osun now. Probably before we get to the general elections next year, they would have perfected their acts and seen any loopholes now from these off-season elections and improve on it.
And Prince Dotun Babayemi, who is contesting the now concluded election from the primary stage, he no doubt, you know, aligns himself with Mrs. Ladeji, and that's why he's pursuing the matter outside of the party, all the way up to the Supreme Court.
Yes. Now on that, the grounds of Prince Babayemi is not against INEC.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's against the leadership of his own party.
Indeed. No. So that's how they're going to have to pronounce. Well, so thank you very much, Charles, for coming along and you know, having this conversation on it. Really, as I was saying, it's a non-partisan conversation, just to try and understand what are the implications. Should it go one way or should it go the other? Thanks once again for coming on.
Thank you very much, Uncle Yori. And I'm glad to be here.
Indeed, our pleasure. So that's our program today. Join us again on Monday for a fresh edition. And in the meantime, do have a great weekend. I am Yori Folare. Bye-bye for now.